To the December 10th workshop. I'm gonna change the agenda around just a little bit. I wanted to go right to the one item that I had was the members for the Board of Commissioners and so since we got a few more people out here today, we have some openings on a few of our town boards that we're always looking for town residents to participate in. We have 2 vacancies on the Board of Zoning Appeals. We have 2 vacancies on the Board of Housing Appeals. We have a vacancy on the Historic District Commission. We have a vacancy on the Board of Supervisors of Election. And we have 3 vacancies on the Elkton Ethics Commission.
Wow.
So if anyone knows anyone or has any interest in volunteering their time, they're all non-paid positions. We would certainly love for you to put in a application. Along with that, I'd like to reappoint a few people if I could. For the Board of Appeals, I'd like to reappoint Shirley Hicks for her reappointment, and it'll be through January of 2029 for the Board of Appeals, Zoning Appeals. We have a motion?
To move.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on Shirley Hicks? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to reappoint Dawn Schwartz. Her position is expiring January 19th also, and it would be a reappointment through January of 29 for the Board of Zoning Appeals. Do we have a motion to approve Dawn Schwartz? We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on her? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And the last appointment, I believe, we got a lot of appointments. We have Sarah Guns. Her appointment's gonna expire on January 17th. And we need a reappointment through January 2029 for the Board of Housing Appeals. We have, got a motion?
Second.
And a second. We have, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we've got Melissa Hickman. We'd like to reappoint her to the Board of Housing Appeals through January 2029. We have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on Melissa Hickman? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to reappoint William Bryan Jr. To the Board of Housing Appeals. His seat expires on the January 5th, and we'd like to reappoint him through January 2029. We have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, I got 3 more to go. The Historical District, would like to reappoint Paula Newton. Her, position expired in August, and we'd like to reappoint her through August of 2028.
Also moved.
Got a motion?
And a second.
And a second. Any discussion on Paula Newton? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have Christine A. Brim Hirschman. We'd like to reappoint her to the Historical District, through February 2028. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion and a second there. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Last one. Got Mickey Thompson. Mickey, on reappoint on the Historic Commission District, through February 2028. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
A motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on Mickey Thompson? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right.
Before you move on, with
Yes.
those vacancies there, Secretary or someone knows get to, note those and their meeting dates and times, because it has always been a concern with somebody wanting to be on one of these.
Yeah, I think that would be great. So if we make a post, Kathleen, if we make a post for us, then we can post on social media with these vacancies. Put down the dates and times of the meetings for them.
Okay.
And also to us as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Charles. Okay, we have a presentation from Cecil County Health Department, West Cecil Health Center, President and CEO. We got John Ness and Marketing Communications Manager Kelly Keaton. You guys want to come on down? I think you're ready to give us a presentation on what's happening at the Cecil County Health Department.
Yeah. Sounds like that. Nothing. Thing.
I don't know, don't go ahead.
Something.
I catch it, everyone, me. Hope it ain't me.
No, it's something. Sorry about that, Kelly.
Okay.
I took a couple of your minutes, I'm sorry. I know that.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. As the mayor said, I'm Kelly Keaton. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager for West Cecil Health Center. For those who may not be familiar with us, West Cecil Health Center is a federally qualified health center, which essentially means that we're a private nonprofit, although a small part of our budget does come from the federal government through a federal grant. Essentially with an FQHC, it means that we are in communities that are have limited access to healthcare or maybe underserved in terms of healthcare. And we serve everyone regardless of their ability to pay or their insurance status. And you'll hear a little bit more about that a little later in our presentation. These are our services that we provide. You will see on the next slide that we do have 3 separate locations. And in terms of the pharmacy and the lab services, those are at our Conowingo location. Our lab services are LabCorp, and both of those you do not need to be a patient to participate in either of those. You'll also note that at our Conowingo location, we offer optometry. West Cecil Health Center is the only Maryland FQHC to offer optometry and vision services. As I mentioned before, we have 3 locations. Conowingo is our main location that offers all of our service lines. This was our original location that was started through an idea through the Conowingo Lions Club and Delegate David Rudolph at the time that kind of brought this idea to fruition and brought us to where we are today. We also have a smaller office in Havre de Grace where we offer primary care and behavioral health services. And what brings us here today is our newest location located at the Cecil County Health Department. And John's going to share a little bit about that in just a few slides. But I just want to say that that really has been such a great addition. The health department has been so welcoming and it's been such a good partnership. And we're thrilled to be here in Elkton. And now I will turn it over to our CEO and President, John Ness.
Thanks, Lily. Again, thanks to the mayor, town commissioners, and administrators for the opportunity today. West Cecil has been around for 17 years, focused out in the western part of Cecil County. And so 6 months ago, we do this partnership with the health department, set up services right here in Elkton. And so I wanted to make sure everyone understands, you might hear FQHC or health center and not know what that means. And people might hear that, think they might not know that that's for them. And I want to make it clear that West Cecil Health Center provides these healthcare services for everyone. So we're here for Medicare, Medicaid, commercial insurance, uninsured, it doesn't matter. We're just here to serve the community. We know that there's a lack of healthcare services available, and we're really trying to fill the need as best we can. And that's why we're excited to have this opportunity to expand into Elkton. And so one of the things that makes us, a little unique is that we offer sliding fee discount. So as a federally qualified health center, we won't turn anyone away, right? If they don't have insurance or they have a high deductible plan or anything like that. We have a sliding fee scale to help them afford their services as well as prescription drugs as well. And that's the second part there, the discount prescription program. So we can help get access to care and we can help get access to medications as well. We provide, endeavor to provide very comprehensive care, chronic condition management, transitional care, annual wellness visits, chronic disease education. We have care teams. We have nurse care managers. We have folks that can help get enrolled in insurance plans. So we provide a lot of services other than just you know, your visit with your primary care doctor. We try to wrap around with a lot of additional supports. And we try to leverage, technology, with the online scheduling as well. Our most recent expansion again, and thanks to Cecil County Health Department, we started this journey with Lauren leaving, and now appreciate, all the support from Dan and his team. So we are there, providing primary care, behavioral health, a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and we have a therapist, and we have dental. So a pretty broad variety of services available, with limited by the, what you see there. So we're not there with every service every day, but we hope to expand, in the future. So we're looking to, we started this journey in Elkton with, our mobile medical van at the health center. And then we leverage that into this partnership, and we hope to grow this into a more robust, healthcare offering to help the residents. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
How does this program tie in, like, you know, it's two different entities, but, the school system case, it could work with the school system. How's this program?
We've been working very closely with the school system.
You want to pull that mic?
Sure. We've been working with, particularly the community school advisor team, which are in many of our schools. It's a position the school system has that's designated specifically to connect with families and the resources that they need. So we have done several presentations for them, as well as to the Judy Center staff. And we work closely with them in general, making sure their school nurses have our information, as well as school administrators. So they've been a wonderful partner as well. And I wanted to add, along with that, the hospital has also been a great partner. We work very closely with them in terms of them being able to refer patients to us. So again, us being in Elkton has really, really helped to amplify that partnership.
Is this just a Maryland-based program in Cecil County? Just for Cecil County?
So West Cecil Health Center is yes, but there are other federally qualified health centers within the state.
So I see the dental exams. Are you actually just examining, or do you do fillings and crowns and,
So for right now, in Elkton, it's just exams.
okay?
But we are, working to expand that so we can do some procedures in Elkton as well. For folks that, they get an exam and need additional work, we facilitate, services out of our front window office where we can do full general dentistry.
Oh, wow. So if a client were to come in, make an appointment for an eye exam, you would refer them down to Conowingo?
Correct. Conowingo is our only
Okay.
location where we have our optometry office.
Can someone just walk in, and sit down with an advisor of some sort to find out what services that they qualify for? Or do you, okay.
You know, ideally to make an appointment, but,
Yeah.
you know, if they walk into any of our offices, they can at least have a
Get an
brief
appointment.
conversation about, what next
Okay.
steps would be to access any services we have.
And also, once they have that initial appointment, whether it be with our primary care provider, their behavioral health provider, like John mentioned, we have a team of the nurse case managers that do a fantastic job of really helping patients to navigate those next steps, whether it be getting signed up for insurance or connecting with a specialist, or just working through a lot of those insurance processes, which are can really be very complicated. So we really make sure to have patients have the full experience, not just when they're in the exam room. We want to make sure that we're part of their entire healthcare journey.
Wonderful.
So Kelly, do you connect basically with any other health services here in Cecil County, like CASA? You mentioned the health department, the social services. And the reason why I asked, because I was in a meeting, I can't remember who asked that question. If somebody was new to this area or surrounding area, they would say to you, why are there so many behavioral health services here in Cecil County? Could you give them an answer, even though I think it's positive in what you're doing, but somebody who may be a newbie to this area would see that and note that, they'd say, why do you have so many services? You follow me, or you want me to rephrase that?
I think one of the things that sets Cecil County apart, is our ability to, work well together and maintain the partnerships that we have. And I think in terms of behavioral health in particular, there are many different layers to that and different services. And I think because of those partnerships and because we do all work together so closely in most cases, if there is a need that one of us cannot meet, we're aware of another organization or another entity that might be able to meet that need that we can refer them to. I think Cecil County in general does a really good job of, with our organizations, not siloing ourselves off, so that we can all work together for the benefit of the patient or for the community member. Did that answer your
That's a
question?
great answer.
Very good. Is there any other questions or comments?
Well, your grand opening is Wednesday,
Next Wednesday, and we know that conflicts with
Okay.
your meeting.
I wanted to
as
make
well.
sure you knew that.
We do,
Okay.
unfortunately, but in saying that, we would love to have you to come by for a visit, just so we can show you our space that we have there at any point that works for you.
Well, we'll try to shorten that meeting up.
Maybe we can, get over there.
Can I ask you a question? You have primary care services. Is that with one doc, one site, or do you have a multitude of doctors that
For-
visit the site, or how's that work?
For Elkton in particular,
I'm sorry?
the
Okay.
Elkton site in particular, there is a standard provider that comes to Elkton specifically on those days. At our other locations, we have a
Is
team
it a
for,
doctor or a TA or what is it?
family nurse practitioner for primary care.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments?
So with that initial question that Earl gave you about Cecil County Public Schools, actually, who is responsible for being the lead person in the school system with you all? Because I think the school system over the years, as you are well, has changed the way they view students, services they offer, and a number of things. So who do you all actually contact, or is there a contact person for them?
We have several different folks that we work with there. Dr. Derby is the individual who oversees the Community School Advisors program. So we work closely with her in terms of that. In addition, we have Dr. Hammer, the Associate Superintendent, Holly Spangler, a personnel worker. And Dr. Derby also are on the West Cecil Health Center board. So we do have connections.
That's great, because I know certainly over the years, the school system is starting to reach out in the community to give help more so now than ever before. And I think that's a great thing for the communities and the families and everything else.
Absolutely.
Very good. Well, listen, thank you guys for the presentation. Really appreciate it. And, good luck with the, ribbon cutting, and we're gonna do our best to slip over.
Oh, thank you.
I will not be able to make it, but I'd love to stop by and see your.
Please do.
Absolutely.
Please
Yeah,
do.
just want to make sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
All right. Next up, we have a presentation, remodel update. Cecil County Public School Executive Director Rachel Wright.
Library. I don't want to take Dr. Lawson's job. He's
Oh, what did
got
I
a
say?
big one and
School
he's
board?
welcome to keep his.
What did I say?
The schools, but Cecil County Public Library. We're good, we're good.
What is wrong with me here?
Well, you were just talking about the school. Understandable. Need to make sure I got the record straight. All right, let me show.
Me and Shirley are having.
I'm sorry. Sit under the vent.
That's Shirley Simmons with,
I'm gonna introduce Shirley McCurry Simmons. Shirley is the president, the chair of our Board of Library Trustees. And so I'm pleased and proud to have her here with us today as we, provide some library updates for you all. So again, thank you so much, Mayor, Commissioners, for the invitation, to be here today and to give you updates not only on the Elkton renovation, I promise we will get there, but also just to share with you some other wonderful things that are happening at the library. So we'll start with some general updates. The last time I was here, it was the summer, and so we were really busy with summer reading, and we have continued to be busy since the last time we were here. So I have just some great photos to share about some of the programming that we've done. This past fall, we hosted a wonderful series of programs celebrating Japanese customs, food, history, and culture. We had a culminating event in Elkton. So leading up to that, we saw over 200 people at branches across the system. And then on that final day, we had 300 people just at the Elkton branch. So it was a wonderful day where people had the opportunity to enjoy taiko drumming, a jiu-jitsu demonstration, kimono dressing demonstration, and more. So it's a wonderful community event that we were able to have across the county, but then that wonderful culminating event here in Elkton. True to our mission to champion reading and connect the community, we hosted a meet and greet author event. This was also in Elkton. We had 16 authors from the Mid-Atlantic region. They came to the Elkton branch along with 4 vendors. And again, we had several hundred people come to the branch that day. They enjoyed conversations with authors. And just that opportunity to get maybe a little bit of an early start on their shopping. We had wonderful feedback, especially from the authors, who really appreciated the opportunity to be in the library, to connect with readers, local readers, to have an opportunity to share their materials with the local community and really to network with one another. So that was a great event that we were pleased and proud to offer. Just this past month, we wrapped up our annual Maryland STEM Festival. This is a month-long statewide initiative. It promotes and celebrates STEM learning. During this year's festival, we hosted more than 20 programs across the system and saw close to 500 youth and families. And so we had programs on Lego robotics, 3D printing, engineering. So again, really the goal of that is to connect youth with STEM programs and topics, really helps to expand the learning that's taking place in school, or as you can see some of our little ones here, never too early to introduce them to concepts of STEM and to inspire them to be curious and to ask questions, which goes a long way to making sure that they're going to be successful in school and being critical thinkers, which is so important. And in addition to our programming that we offer, which again, we launched a new collection. This is our Ready, Set, Read backpack collection. This is added to other specialized collections that we have. We have Nature Explorer backpacks, early literacy backpacks, that really invite and encourage families to take the learning home with them. And so this project was funded from a grant that we had received from the county's VLT community grant. So this allowed us to create 40 themed backpacks that have books, games, and activities to really help children and families develop and practice their reading skills. And so these backpacks are available at branches across the county, and they build on the success of our Reading Buddies program, which is where we train community volunteers to work one-on-one with elementary students, again, to practice and develop their reading skills. All of this is really to address the county's reading crisis. It's a reading crisis not just in this county, but across the country. And so it's such a critical skill for children to be successful in all the things that they do. They need to be successful with reading. So of course we take every opportunity to do that. And so the backpacks, again, really create this opportunity for families to have access to reading materials, literacy games, and things that they can practice at home, and to, again, support the learning that they're doing in school.
Can I ask a quick?
Yes,
is it-
please.
What's the targeted age for that?
So, I would say, in general, elementary could be pre-K through elementary years. What we have found in the work that we've done with our reading buddies is that every reader is different. So we didn't want to, there isn't one that says this is for a second grade student, because again, children are coming in with various levels of reading skills. So this really focuses on those reading practices, so helping them to develop phonics or develop vocabulary. So it's based around the theme of a reading skill or concept. So again, we wanted to make it accessible for students to not feel like, especially if you have an older child who maybe might be a struggling reader, they certainly don't want to take home something that says that this is for kindergarten students. So we just wanted to keep it broad and open, so that parents can check out whatever the material is that is right for their child.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned, the word was deficit, we have the reading
Crisis,
crisis.
yeah.
Yeah, in what form, where are we at with that?
Sure, yeah, so, recently, we're, as a system, we're, Cecil County Public Schools, we're making some progress, but overall, we are seeing about 60% of our third graders not reading at a proficient level. And again, this is something that is seen at the state level and the national level as well. So there are a lot of efforts to really help get our third graders to be reading proficiently at third grade, because we know that when that doesn't happen, these are the students that are more likely to fall behind in later years, and it's really hard to catch up. So again, we really want to focus these early years before they fall too far behind. And so we have, again, our Reading Buddies program. The schools have in-school tutoring programs that they're doing to support students as well. But it really does need to be a community effort to make sure that all the students in our community are where they need to be for their reading proficiency.
Even when I was in the system, and I guess it's still true that, that third grader is really targeted for a lot of things, and particularly reading, because that's very important for children. Because you get behind the third grade and you never catch up, you're gonna always be behind.
Right. And really, why the third grade, oftentimes people ask, like, why is third grade the most critical year? Well, it's kind of a shift in the curriculum. So in those earlier years, it's teaching them where they're learning to read. So it's really focused on getting them to, the reading skills that they need as a foundation to set them up. After third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and beyond, they're really expected to know how to read, and so it shifts to reading to learn. So if they're unable to have those reading skills and those foundational skills, then they're not able to learn the concepts that they need to learn in science and history and geography and social studies and all the things that come after. But that feels like the energy went down. So so again, there are a lot of good work certainly being done to support families in the county. And so the Ready Set backpacks are a great way, again, for families to get some of that additional support as they're working to develop and practice their reading skills with their students.
Have you all ever looked into the fact that we all know, and my pastor talked about that on Sunday, particularly trying to get kids to remove themselves to cell phone, even though kids are engulfed in it. Do you think that has helped their reading in any form or fashion? I mean, on one hand, we understand what the concept of reading, but on the other hand, we know if you're looking into the phone, if you're not doing comments, and there is a lot of reading and some discovery in the phone, does that help, you think? Or
I
has,
mean,
has been any research done on that?
I was going to say, I mean, I have not personally seen any research related to that. I have some personal feelings about it. I mean, in terms of, you know, the kind of reading, like, yes, there are comments that they're reading, or maybe there are articles that they're reading. I think, but some of the critical thinking that needs to be, you know, part of, you know, reading books or long articles, you know, that's probably what's missing when you're scrolling on social media. And so again, giving them lots of opportunities to engage with different kinds of materials. So, I mean, we have what are graphic novels. So again, we want kids to be motivated. And so we're introducing them to audio books. And so there's all different kinds of formats that can work for students to keep them engaged and involved in various kinds of reading. I'm not sure though that what the social media and the phone is,
And it's kind of like short attention span theater,
right, yeah. It's
so I see where you're going.
kind of fast and
Now, we
furious.
can just get them to go along with it.
Mm-hmm. Right, and so that's why we, again, offer lots of different kinds of formats and genres. You know, with our Reading Buddies program, we have books to appeal to, you know, a wide level of interest. So if students are coming in and they're really motivated and they love to read about sharks and oceans, then we have books there. And there's a lot of research about children who have an opportunity to self-select their reading materials. They're more motivated, more interested, and so then they will practice it more because, of course, it's interesting and something that they enjoy doing. So that you're always looking for that right material to connect with them so they'll want to do it and it doesn't feel like a chore. All right, so again, since our beginning of our fiscal year, which is July 1, we have welcomed 143,099 visitors to our branches and our bookmobiles. As I said, we've been busy. We've hosted close to 600 programs with over 11,000 attendees. So from living history to book discussions, interactive cooking programs, our libraries really do have something for everyone. If you haven't been there recently, I invite you to join us. And generally speaking, in terms of Elkton, we've already said, you know, I've been here a couple of times with Elkton. It's busy, it's vibrant, it's a community hub. People are coming to the Elkton branch. Elkton accounts for probably about 25 to 30% of our attendance and our programming that we offer. So it's a busy place, which again is why it's so important, the work that we're getting ready to do to transform the Elkton branch so that it can continue to do those great things into the future. And so that's what we're all here for today, to talk a little bit about an update here. As a reminder, the Elkton branch was built and opened in the late 80s, making it close to 40 years old. Yes, I really did say 40 years old. I know for some of us, it's hard to believe that the late 80s was 40 years ago. So as you can imagine, a lot has changed in 40 years. And so to ensure that the Elkton branch is able to continue to serve the community for the next 40 years and beyond, that's why we're doing what we're doing at the Elkton location. So as we're coming to the end of schematic design, we have a pretty good idea of where things are going to be located, where the walls are going to be. And so my update today is sharing with you our bubble diagram that shows a little bit of the layout. Our next phase is design development. That's when we really get into what everything really looks like in terms of furniture and finishes and the spaces, and we'll come back after, you know, in the spring with renderings about what the spaces will really look like. So this just really gives you an idea about the layout of the space, how it's going to be configured, And again, coming back to what we have identified as some of our priorities for the project. So again, to say, last January, we engaged the community, we listened to all the things that they wanted to see and to have in their branch. And so I think as we talk through some of this, you will see where that has happened. Just to give you kind of a frame of reference, this side over here is the parking lot. So this is the front side facing the street. If you take a bird's eye view of the Elkton Branch Library, it is shaped as an H. And so we'll have some opportunities to do interesting expansions to that H. So coming into the front area, one of our primary goals with this transformation of the branch is to address some issues at the entry area. So we don't know what that's looking like yet, but we know that we need to make some improvements in terms of pedestrian access and safety at that front entryway. So that is part of this project, certainly. Coming into this space, if you see this dotted line here, this represents an expansion. So this is where we currently have the courtyard. Last time we were here, we talked about the courtyard and some issues with water infiltration issues and flooding, and we just needed to address that. And so putting it under roof allowed us to address those issues while also creating something that we really, really need, which is a dedicated space for teens. We are within walking distance of 1,900 students after school between Gilpin Manor, Elkton Middle, and Elkton High. I'm not saying 1,900 students come, but they could. And so with this dedicated teen space, they will have access to the things that they need in the after school hours. So a safe place to be, place where they can socialize, access to materials, access to technology, homework assistance, gaming. So if you've been to Northeast or you've been to Perryville, where we have these dedicated spaces for teens, that is what we're creating in Elkton. And that is something that we're very excited about, and that has been a primary goal for this project from the very beginning. You know, the children's room, everybody knows and loves the children's room. We'll do the improvements and things that we need to do there, but generally speaking, the children's room is where the children's room is. A couple of years ago, last summer, we did a refresh of furniture, so we're able to reuse those newer pieces. But adding here a family gathering area, this is something that's kind of a new idea in libraries, but we have found in Perryville and Northeast, it's just such a great idea. If you're a family, you have children of a younger age and an older age, this is kind of a common place where you all can come together. Adult collections, again, we listen to the community. They want to have the books that they have, the robust collection that we currently have. So we're keeping all of that. So there will not be a lack of books in our spaces, but we're just making some improvements in terms of seating in those areas. And then the other side, the opposite side of the H, this expansion is another part of our project, and that is the addition of study rooms. Currently, we have 2 repurposed spaces in Elkton for study rooms. They are very popular, always utilized, and so our goal here is to do about.
Excuse me, ma'am, you're distracting us. Excuse me, ma'am, you're distracting us.
We're picking, excuse me, we're picking you up on the microphone up there and you're coming through. Thank you. Go ahead, fire away.
So with our study rooms, again, these are, you know, people, they need lots of things from their libraries in this 21st century. They need access to collections, access to technology, and they also need access to spaces, so flexible spaces. So collaboration rooms, conference rooms. So with this expansion, we'll have about 5 to 6 of various sizes. So again, a goal that we're excited to be able to achieve. And finally, you see there, we are planning for a maker space. So again, this was something that came through loud and clear, the community looking for places to be creative, to explore, to discover. And so having a maker/create space is something that we really wanted to bring to Elkton as well. So this kind of gives you an idea. I would say it's, whetting your appetite a little bit, in terms of where we are and what's next. We'll know more after the first of the year, but in the spring is when we will have renderings, so actual pictures to show you, and we will absolutely come back to show you them. And where we're thinking now, I know this is always like the next question, we're actively looking for a satellite location with a project of this size that's going to be touching so many things, the HVAC and the sprinkler system, all the things that we're just not able to keep the building open while we do this transformation. But it's critical that we continue to serve Elkton, that we continue to stay connected to the community. So we're looking for space as close to this location as possible, to where we can still continue to offer some level of service, some level of collections, access to technology, access to the expertise of our staff. So if you all have any ideas, we'd be glad to sit down and talk about those. And that's a little bit of where we are in terms of the Elkton project. And finally, I always like to end with our Friends Foundation. Our Friends Foundation does great work to support the library. They will be launching a campaign to help do kind of the additional extra things we want to do to the transformation of Elkton. Again, making this a space for the entire community to be, so that it can continue. There are such wonderful, warm feelings that people have about the Elkton Library. Oftentimes it's the library they grew up in. It's the library that they come back to with their own children and families. It's a place that they depend on for so many things. And so we take that very seriously, and want to make sure that Elkton continues to have the spaces that they need in their public library. So thank you very much. Happy to answer any other questions, and look forward to coming back again with even more.
The only question I have, did you have anybody on your committees to look at the safety of that area? There has not been a whole lot of accidents, but there's been a lot of near misses. And I was just talking to Robbie, that's a state road, figuring the fact that, you drive into the library after school and in the morning, you got buses going in on that end. And then further up, you've got two other lanes, either you're going in or coming out. And there are sometimes, and I'll pick my granddaughter, you could be sitting there 5 minutes on that road and trucks and everything else is going by. Somebody's going out this way. Somebody's going out that way. When it's easy to go out and turn right, but it's critical at times.
I agree. I mean, we've done some improvements there in terms of adding that drive lane, so there's a left turnout and a right turnout, but it's a busy place. I think as we continue to look at the front entryway, that's definitely safety is top of mind for us there as well.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just wanted to let you guys know, every public library in Maryland is operated by a board of trustees. By statute, there's 7 of us. And our job is to, one, hire a professional librarian that oversees the operation of the library. And that is Rachel, is our executive director, and she reports to the board. And I just wanted you guys to know that we conducted a nationwide search when Morgan Miller was selected as our state librarian, which is an amazing accomplishment in Cecil County. And we had applicants as far away as Canada. It took us about 3 months, a lot of work before we reached a decision. And so we're just very, very excited to have Rachel Wright as our executive director. She is an amazing leader. And I just want to make sure you know that this project is in great hands and is going to be a wonderful addition and improvement for our community. And so I just publicly want to thank Rachel and the staff that's here, Frazier, Walker, and Adele Cruz, for all of their hard work to make this happen.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for everything you do.
Great team led by a great board and a great
There you
chair.
go. Thank you guys so much. Okay, I know that Commissioner Piner attended a Elkton Little League board meeting the other day, and I think, Earl, you have something you want to bring up?
Yes, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Coach Rick, Turner, okay, that's close enough.
Come on down, come on down.
So, I was really excited when I was added on to their meeting list. Watching football on Sunday night, but yet I said, let me go to this meeting. And
Well, we got you out of there quick too,
it
though.
was worthwhile for me to come to this meeting, because I learned a lot, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell a little bit, but I just want to bring up a couple of things that I thought was very interesting. One of the topics that they brought up was the 4th of July parade. This is down Howard, up to Little League on Howard Street. When we use their parking lot and we have our event, who's responsible for liability? That's one of the things came up.
Depends on who files a claim against who.
Okay, because they're using the Little League field to do their parking and to do our event, which is the 4th of July. And I thought that was number one, that was an item that we never discussed, and I wanted the board to hear from the coach here.
Well, listen, we're glad to have you on board. Are you now the new president?
No, Alan Barr is the president. I'm one of the board members. I've been a volunteer at Elkton Little League for the past 20 years.
Very good. Well, lay it on us. Tell us what's going on.
So there was two topics that we wanted to talk about. Neither of them are terribly time critical, because
Yeah.
one of them is 4th of July.
Mhm.
So we got plenty of time to figure this one out. But last year, the wave of visitors that came to Eder Park for the event, it had previously been a more impromptu thing that mostly the people from Elkton Little League took care of, because it's the property of the Eder Park Association.
Yeah.
When we got hit with that wave of people last year, it added a couple of elements that were hard to handle for the dozen or so board members. First one was the trash. The amount of trash that got left all over the facility, it took a half dozen people a couple hours after everybody left to clean up the facility, and we were just hoping to get a little bit of help, and just for that one night. If it was some people from DPW coming to help pick up the trash, or an extra dumpster drop would have been really helpful, because by the time we were done,
And this is the 4th of July.
just the 4th of July.
We can handle that. That's an easy one.
Yes, that was the simple one. And then again, we have plenty of time to figure that out. The second question was, I think Earl was just talking about, was we've now got, and the estimate was about 5,000 people that rolled through the property that evening. And there were no police assigned to help keep the crowd under control. That's all. If a couple of folks from the police force could just be redirected to just walk the area and just have a presence, it would be helpful. When you get that many people, you're always gonna have three that just need to have a conversation with a police officer.
Listen, we've got the chief. She's back there listening. I think we can handle that also. The 4th of July event, we changed it from being at Meadow Park to
Yep.
where the seating came, and we spoke with Tim Eller, who's no longer with the board, I'm assuming.
Correct.
And there really wasn't a lot of communication on whose role was what. It was taken by the Elkton Little League, looking at it as an opportunity to maybe sell more hot dogs and sodas and drinks.
We sold a lot of hot dogs.
There you go. And it was kind of a trade-off, and we never really did talk about responsibility, but I think with your, based upon, if it's on your property, it'd be your responsibility, right?
And the trash issue was the minor conversation.
Yeah.
The more important one was with the Eder Park Association. So I would expect that either Pat Dennis or his daughter Kim might come
Yeah.
and want to have that conversation also, just because it does belong to them.
Yes,
The organization, the Little League, that uses the place for $1 a year. It's a nonprofit organization. We just need to know how to handle something like that. or
Understand.
Prepare for the eventuality that somebody gets hurt.
I would say that as we get like a month prior to the event, let's bring some board members back in. We'll firm up all those details.
That would be awesome.
One of the other problems was the asphalt. They wanted to know, and I already know the answer to this, but anyways, the asphalt, that they wanted to fix certain areas down there in the, at the baseball field. What I found the answer is you just can't come and put asphalt down there, and we can't approve that because there's gotta be an engineer involved. You've got to also find out where the flooding issues would be occurred. So, am I right, Lou?
Yeah, that's more sophisticated, planning, using engineering and stormwater management. Floodplain issues, all have to be addressed, permitting.
We can't even put any more, paving in at Meadow Park.
Understood.
Yeah.
The idea was just to have the conversations, to know who to have the conversation with, because it isn't gonna be a massive asphalt project. The whole idea was just to extend the crown of the road about 10 extra feet towards the field complex. So that the parking areas, that where the parking lots were, instead of them parking in gravel, they'd be parking on asphalt. So we weren't talking about going all the way up to the edge of the field complex or anything like that. It was just, the idea was to try and improve the parking spaces that line the field side of Howard Street. That was the idea.
I don't know who would they go in front of? Would they go in front of, no, but I think they need to come to our board. Jean, you gotta meet with Jean Minner. There she is.
The problem is with properties in the floodway, and there's restrictions on any kind of development in the floodway that actually conveys the water from the streams or flood events. So you have to do an H&H analysis. Stormwater management, you're also in the critical area, so 10% rule. There's a lot of, I don't know if the juice is gonna be worth the squeeze trying to get that done, but just to let you know, you start with the, building and planning officers. Chip is the floodplain manager, and I'd be dealing with critical area. But it's a joint permit with NDE and the Corps of Engineers.
Oh, okay.
And have to have a hydraulic and hydrologic analysis done, just like we did for the pedestrian bridge.
Yeah, it's not saying it can't be done, but there is a lot of tape.
I got you. And the idea came up because we have a lot of, our sponsors and advertisers that instead of donating money, a lot of times they'll donate some time, they'll donate asphalt, they'll donate their time. And one of the, suggestions from one of the paving companies was that they would do the work for free. We just needed to get the approval done.
I understand,
And just who to have the conversation with was,
listen, I think everyone up here would love to see that, but I know who will be knocking on your door. I promise you, the MDE and the critical area folks, they'd all be, coming after you.
And nobody's gonna be upset if the answer is no. I mean, it's been like this forever, so.
So RC, I wanted to introduce you to Angelina back there. Have you guys met at all?
We have not.
Okay.
But I'd love to talk to you after this.
You two need to talk because when we have like the, Little League Parade and so forth,
Yes.
for those dates, we want you to go through the Elkton Alliance so that when they make a presentation, on the closing of the streets, it's all put together in one package.
That'd be great. Now, did I have a conversation with you with Elkton Alliance last year about the advertising thing?
I was not here last year. You probably had that with Alicia Calhoun, our executive director.
Fair enough.
Anything else?
Who do I complain to about Delmarva?
What? Yeah. Well,
I spent the last couple of weeks looking at our electric bills over the last few years, and I got some questions. That's all.
well, listen, we used to have a Delmarva representative that would come in about once a quarter. I can't tell you who that is anymore.
That's Christine Brown.
Krista Brown is the,
She's,
Christine?
PR person for Marvel.
Has she recently been afraid to come here? Is that?
I'm not sure.
No, she's always been willing to come here if there was a complaint.
Fair enough.
So maybe, Kathleen, maybe we could put RC in touch with Christine Brown. Very good.
Very good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. All right, this is the time we open up the floor for anyone that has anything good for the town. Angelina?
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to let everybody know that this Friday is our annual Christmas cookie throwdown. So all the merchants on Elkton Main Street will have a cookie, and the community comes out and votes on which one they like the best. It's 5:30 to 8 o'clock here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything to say for Yes, sir. Go behind you, behind you.
I'm gonna bring the energy down a little more, so
All right.
apologize in advance.
And I forget your name,
My name is Bo, the mayor.
but we talked about the PFAS, I think.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
I have more great news for you.
all right. Pull that mic a little closer for you, give your name and address, and that'd be great.
My name is Bo Coa, I live in Milholland Drive, I live in Kensington Courts. I have 2 items to present to the town today. As I've done, I've written up a couple things, but I'll just try to be brief. As you already noted, spoke on the PFAs last year, and then you guys brought it in for Mark, and they gave you great news. Before that, I spoke on a cyber issue that stands to be unremediated, but I digress. Here's the first issue I have. I have lived on Kensington Courts for 21 years. About 15 years ago, I started walking the shoreline. I'm here today because a couple meetings ago, you mentioned, to get community feedback about the Frenchtown Park. So the feedback that I'm gonna present, relates to remediation efforts that the town cannot afford to perform. In walking those shores for 15 years, if we could bring up a map, if that's all possible on the screen over here, to reference the top of the Elk. As I proceed my discussion, I will reference certain points of that map that relates to. Just bring up Google Map. Google Map, southern end of town, if at all possible.
Well, you might be able to pull it up.
Yeah, maps, Elkton, the southern end of town.
Piece of kind of GIS.
I'm not looking for anything specific, just the shape of the river and, certain areas. So down where the southern end of town at the top of Elk is.
That property down there is,
Right here.
it's not owned by the town.
This is the town line right here. So if you can, so that's good enough. If you want to click in a little more, zoom in for, some more, there is something that, I want to bring up. So I've been walking this shoreline here. It's about 2 miles. I've walked it 1,000 miles at least. I've been walking it for 15 years. Everything, I'm also an NNA weather spotter, civilian weather spotter, CE 007 is my number. And based on the shape of the bay, almost all of our major weather comes out of the southwest. And not that you need to, but the bay is down here and the southwest, everything washes up right here. Everything washes up. C&D canals down here, international ships come in and they discard their trash and it washes up behind here. Boats, jet skis, entire docks, bags of drugs, and even bodies wash up behind my house. Hazmat, 55-gallon barrels of hazmat that ships discard. I've called the EPA, the MDE has come out to the house, they've taken these barrels, they try to figure out who owns them, who discarded them. It's a lost cause. The reason we're coming here today is, in late January of 22, as I said, I walked these shores. In late January of 22, a massive petroleum spill was all in this facility right here. So I came home, I called the EPA, and I got into a phone call battle back and forth, and the EPA tells me that I need to call the Elkton Fire Department. And the Elkton Fire Department will be tasked with coming out, assessing the oil spill, and making a determination to progress it up the ladder to have that oil spill remediated. Hours of phone calls back and forth. I called the Elkton Fire Department. I believe I spoke to the assistant chief because I didn't call 911 because it wasn't someone dying. And they told me that they don't do that and that they won't come out. So I proceeded to give up on trying to remediate the oil spill that was located at the top of the Elk River in the middle of winter when no one else cared. Since the PFAS issue was not necessarily believed and follow-up was conducted, I have for you a news story that supports my claim. That oil spill today still remains, and it comes and goes with the tide, and this land here is forever impacted by that oil spill that needs to be remediated. That is an additional expense that most likely will have to come from the state or the federal government in order to remediate that spill for the grand dreams of having Ocean City-like white sand beaches at the Frenchtown Park.
I follow you. Well, listen, we'll follow up with this.
Okay? Second issue I have is the silt and the dredging. I've lived there for 21 years and I have seen gross wasteful spending in attempting to resolve the dredging. The dredging needs to be resolved by solving the problem, not by immediate temporary solutions. And as you can be seen in this map, well, we'll back up a little bit. I brought a little history with me here. I'm an eclectic individual. I have strange talents and strange interests. Mike Brown can attest to that. In 1920, from about 1900 to about 1920, this was the town beach right here. And before that time, this cutout did not exist. What happened in 1930, probably somewhere along the lines, someone discovered river rock, massive amounts of river rock. And that river rock was deemed to be some type of profit. And then Whitehall Lake was extracted and formed as a result of the excavation of that river rock. In 1952, the U.S. government flew over this area and took the first pictures of the shorelines of the United States. For whatever reason, post-World War II, whatever planning for national security, they executed those steps. A picture of 1952 will result and see that this cutout right here did not exist. Your former brother-in-law can tell you that he used to swim at the top of the Elk River and it was 30 feet deep. Some of you here may remember when it was 30 feet deep. In the time since that cutout, the silt has exponentially increased at the top of the Elk River. So as we spend money for dredging to rectify the solution to support the boat ramps that are right over here, what really needs to happen is the Army Corps of Engineers needs to go back in time, study the old maps, and realize where that silt is coming from. Now that I pointed out, because people say, oh yeah, that's where it's coming from, when this cutout was made right here, all of this water, what's the fastest way between 2 points? Straight line, right? So you have all that water that comes out right here, and that water wants to get here. It is not going around this way. It is running through Whitehall Lake and bringing all of that silt with it. The Army Corps of Engineers needs to rectify this plug that was created and opened sometime in 1950, and that will remediate your silt problem. All of this water, however, is containing all of this silt. So all this oil-contaminated water would need to be remediated and put back into Whitehall Lake where it came from. That will remediate your silt problem. Those are the 2 points I have to cover. I would also like to offer some information about Frenchtown Park and the grounds in this area based on the history. Mr. Piner would have great interest in some of the things that he has interest in from the slave history. Along all of this line here, along with the lineage and the history of the Native Americans on this land. This area right here, whether you guys realize it or not, is globally unique. There is no land like this anywhere on our planet. And I feel that is what the town should be focusing on from the history perspective of attempting to preserve that history and study it, instead of plowing it over and offering it for RV park recreation. That's all I have to say today, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your time. Listen, you are a wealth of knowledge and appreciate everything you bring to the table.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good day.
Thank you. All right, anyone? Yes, ma'am.
I have something, please.
Come on down, state your name and address, please.
I'm all right.
Good.
My name is Scotty Kepler. I live at 214 Independence Drive, which is in Washington Woods. There's two reasons I am here, and they do have to do with the HOA. I am a member of Washington Woods HOA. We're not totally active because in 2005, we incorporated with the town of Elkton because you can fine and you can police. We could not. I've been living there since 1998. We finished the new section in 1998 in Washington Woods. I built a home in there. I've been a taxpayer since 1989, moving here in the town of Elkton. I've noticed a couple things that happened. One is I need to know what the priorities are and how we handle and who comes in and looks at when you need paving. I've been there since 1998. We have gullies, we have potholes, we have horrible. And I don't know who patrols it. I don't know who finds the issue. I work with DPW on cement and stuff. They're awesome. If I have a problem, they come and fix it. I know this is a big, we only have 4 streets, but it's big. But I do notice that outlying communities, they've been paved like 3 times since we never have. I realize we only have 150 plus homes, but to my knowledge, everybody pays their taxes. So I just need to know what my next step is to have somebody come in and assess Washington Woods.
So Dottie, Public Works is the one that does the assessments for us and
Okay.
determine which roads need to be paved.
Okay.
And we just, we're experimenting with the new software currently, that when you're driving, the software system is put into our Public Works vehicles, and as they're driving, it gives an evaluation of the roads as they're going through. So it would be Public Works, and I can tell you that we will get you an evaluation done of Washington Woods.
Okay, well, Dan and I have a very good working relationship.
Work on that guy.
And
He's-
but I didn't know the capacity. I wasn't sure what the capacity. When I had some cement issues.
Yeah.
He handled those right away, and I've had good rapport with him ever since, but I didn't know the magnitude of what somebody can decide.
Yeah, so we have about $500,000 to $600,000 a year that we get from the state to use for paving. It's not a lot, so we're able to do maybe 500 foot of road throughout the whole town. Now, it may appear that we're doing a lot of different areas, but quite frankly, we're not. So if you see like areas of the state highway, which would be, that's not us.
No, and I understand that. I just see a lot of activity at Patriots.
We did Patriots
Yeah,
Way last year.
And they've been there less time than what
And-
Washington Woods has been.
And we were only able to do Patriots Way. We weren't able to do all the
Correct.
things.
Correct.
But listen, I promise you, we got you on the list.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I can talk to Dan too. My second complaint, it's not really a complaint, but I don't know where to go at this point. I've been on the HOA since 2005. I did it for my own satisfaction of owning my home, and wanting to take care of Washington Woods. I have worked with 3 different code enforcers: Charles Hicks, John Smith, and Jeff Holter. Now, Jeff is retired and we have a new one. The director, who has a job in this building, politely called me after about 3 times that I come in and wanted to meet the man, that I'm not allowed to meet the new code enforcer. And the reason I'm not allowed to meet him is, this is what was told to me on the phone by Chip, who doesn't like me anyway, but that's okay. He said, Washington Woods is not having an issue. And I don't know why you think anybody can drive up there and check on things. And I don't know why you just don't let it go. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, I worked with the other 3 and we did things. COVID shut some things down. Things are bad in Washington Woods. Cheryl's on the board too, she can verify that, she lives there also. She does all the beautification.
Well, you don't have to say anymore. We're gonna give you the name of the new code enforcer, and we'll have that discussion and.
I could be able to meet with
His
him,
name is
so I
Joe
know,
Cirillo, and he was a former police officer.
I understood,
Down, and he's the code enforcement officer, and you're free to talk to him at any
I
time.
understand, that would be good, because like I say, I just wanna work with him, because sometimes I might see something he doesn't.
That's fine, we're not a secret organization.
Well, this is what I was told, I came in and could talk to nobody, but then he called me at home and said, bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, okay, I just wanna meet the man and work with him.
Well, listen, is Joe in today?
Matter of fact,
Well, I was just gonna say, maybe when you go back,
Go in and see if,
ask for Joe Cirillo.
okay, that would be great, I just wanna meet him, I'm not the
There
Wicked
you go.
Witch of the East, but it's like, I've never had this happen to me until a couple weeks ago, so
We'll make that happen for you.
I
There
appreciate
you
that
go.
so much. Thank you again
so
for your
much,
time.
Connie. Thank you. Anyone else have anything to say for the good of the town today?
Mhm.
All right, anyone on the Zoom meeting? I don't see anything.
Dan, is Dan online?
I know. That's what they're gonna do.
I'm not sure. Gene, you have anything today for the good?
No, I
of the
just
town?
wanted to meet with Dan. I was wondering, I thought he'd be here.
He's online.
I'm online.
All right.
I can come see you. I'll do whatever you want.
I will give you a call then, as soon as we're done.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks.
Charles,
Thank you, Commissioner.
Earl, Robert?
I have nothing to report, but I'd like to say that the Christmas tree lighting on Friday was, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I've been sick. We had a little bit of snow on the ground, on the tree. A lot of people showed up, the carolers were there, the dancers were there. That's really a nice event that you guys do every year. Thank you for that.
yeah.
Very good, thank
Well,
you.
let me add one other thing. Of course, you weren't there for the, acknowledgement party or Christmas party
Yep.
or whatever name you want to give it, but it was certainly done in good taste. There was a wealth of people there. The award for, what's her name?
Paula Newton.
Paula Newton was outstanding for somebody who was given so many years of service, but it went without a hitch and, it was good. Would have been nice if we had the town administrator, our boss there, but, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. All right, this meeting's adjourned.